Why aren't they rolling? Why aren't the reels rolling? Oh! You wanted the Erlestoke Manor video, didn't you?
Bro!
The pannier tanks are one of the Great Western Railway's most widely known designs. There are many variants of the locomotives, the first appearing in 1898. However, in 1933, Charles Collett looked towards a new version of the pannier tanks. His head turned to the 1361 class, which was an earlier saddle tank design with outside cylinders. He developed on this idea, changing some of the cosmetics of the locomotive. What he created was something of a subclass. The locomotive was, in question, near identical. However, it sported pannier tanks and a collet cab, and several other differences with the motion work. These were labelled as the 1366 class, and the first of them appeared in 1934. 1369 was the fourth member of the class to be built, and in true Swindon fashion, they had to keep one of them behind. So 1369 had been allocated to Swindon as a shunter and doing odd duties around the yards. This allocation made its very early life very boring, as this allocation would last all the way up until 1960. However, it all changes from this point onwards. British Railways decided to reallocate 1369 to Weymouth Quay, which was on the south coast. This was decided because they believed that these locomotives were the perfect design to operate the tramway between Weymouth Station and the harbour. Following the correct gauging testing and passing those tests satisfactorily, 1369 would later be joined by classmates number 1367 and 1368. Around this time, to follow laws, all of the panniers were fitted with bells, so they could operate the tramway safely. This made them the only type of pannier tanks to be fully kitted out with tramway gear, making them very unique indeed. Unfortunately, this venture did not last very long, because only 4 years later did diesels arrive, replacing the poor pannier tanks and throwing them out their jobs. However, BR still saw their use, and it was decided then, rather than to scrap them there and then, to reallocate them to Wadebridge. Another main reason for this was to replace the very much ageing BT Well tanks from the LSWR that were working on clay pit branch lines in the area. These locomotives were probably the best replacements they could get at the time, because in 1964 most small 060 locomotives had been withdrawn and scrapped by this time. 1369 and her sisters lasted here for around another year before, unfortunately, British Railways started to withdraw the class, one by one. All of them had gone by 1965. However, and there has to be a however or there's no point making this video, 1369 found herself a new life. She was saved by the then named Dart Valley Railway, which was based at Buckfastleigh. She moved under her own steam from Wadebridge to Tones, and made herself the last BR working steam locomotive based in Cornwall. Following a few further steaming, she was withdrawn for further work. However, because of her joint owner status by the Great Western Society and the Dart Valley Railway, she would remain kind of in the middle of everything. It was clear that both of the societies wanted to go their own separate ways, and therefore 1369 would stay with the Dart Valley Railway, whilst the GWS would pretty much give full ownership of the locomotive to that society. She then spent the next 21 years, man, Jesus Christ, what was I thinking back then? Either intact and out in storage, or under overhaul. By the end of the overhaul, Over £40,000 have been spent on its restoration, and it's steamed for the first time since 1970 in 1996. Since her return to traffic, she has pretty much ran non-stop since 1996, her most recent overhaul being finished in 2019. The locomotive hasn't of course always been stuck at the South Devon Railway, and has visited many other railways, including the Severn Valley, the Dean Forest Railway, and soon to be the Bluebell Railway. The locomotive was put in 2017 at the end of its ticket in a very interesting what-if livery, which sparked much controversy. In one day, they repainted the locomotive into a modern GWR era livery, sporting some of the modern numbering systems as well. You can check Facebook to see how the public reacted to it. Mixed reviews, I won't go into it. That's for your own research. Jokes aside, this locomotive is an absolutely fantastic little pocket rocket. It's capable of doing a lot more than it looks like it can do, pulling 7 coaches on the South Devon Railway frequently. So then, what do you think of this locomotive? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. See you all next time.